Hey everybody, this is Limitless KRG9 and we're doing another cool review this week, and this is a Guyver 1 Ultimate version Figma 600-15cm PVC Action Figure-Kabuto 2.0 model, or a third-party knockoff or Chinese knockoff of the Figma Ultimate Edition Guyver 1. So again, this is a Figma Guyver 1 Ultimate Edition third-party or KO or knockoff or a Chinese version. So compared to the actual legit Figma one, they came out a couple years ago, and it was, I think, retail for, at the time when it barely came out, it was like $100, and now retails for about almost $200 or $300. Even pre-owned goes for at least under $200. It's really rare and expensive. So this is a knockoff of that one. If you guys are curious about it, one of the reasons I got it, I'm very excited about it. I actually had a friend who actually had it, so I actually got to mess around with the actual Figma one, Ultimate Edition one. It looked really cool. It was very pricey. He said he got it pre-ordered, so he had it with that special edition stand of this is the actual show Guyver. But yeah, so again, this is a third knockoff or third-party knockoff KO version of the Chinese one. And I actually opened this and messed with it a bit. And of course, I'll tell you how much and where I got it in the end of the video and how long it took here. But yeah, so you see, I'm already showing you the box itself. Mine came out pretty much beat up. The box it came in was not the greatest shape to protect it, so it did get smashed. I'm not keeping the box. I'm definitely going to have them display. It looks pretty decent and cool for me to have them display, so yeah. So now let's open him up and check out all the accessories. Now he does have the same accessories as the Ultimate Edition, but they are a little different because this is, like I said, like a knockoff version of that one. Alright guys, so first is his stand and then a bunch of hands display. When it comes to the paint and the scope on these, the scope is not bad. The paint is, you can tell it's a little like half-assed, but that's that. And then here's his face. It's not that bad either. The scope again is not bad. It's just here's a close-up of it. Like I said, the scope is not that bad. It's just the paint's just a little off, but it's still not a really bad deal. Well, detail on this. Like I said, the scope is really not that bad. It's just if the painting was a little bit nicer, this would have been such a really nice scope. The other stuff is his Guyver unit. It's not bad either. I'd love to have an actual life size of this to just display. It's so cool. And the part that rips half of his mask off, and his sonic blades. The material is a little bit more thinner compared to the Figma ones. I can feel they're just a little bit more weaker. But yeah, now let's actually get a bit look at the figure itself. Alright guys, so first let me look at the scope of that face itself so you guys can get a better look inside. I'm going to zoom in for you guys now. It looks really nice. Like I said, when it comes to the scope on this thing, it's not bad. When it's off, it's the paint. Now don't get me wrong, there are some areas that it is like the body shape, it is a little off because they use mold. I'm assuming they got molds of the original one, or they got a bunch of the figures and reuse the molds of those figures, but it's still not bad. Now it is off proportion some spots, and again, mostly the paint is what kind of is like, oh, it's kind of like lazy or scraped, but I don't care. Like honestly, I can repaint some of the shininess of the chrome of his kind of like silver, kind of like plated kind of mold belt thing. I don't know that name, sorry guys, but I'm getting sidetracked. So some of the joints are kind of like a weird proportion or just off by a little, but the paint too, the paint is what I really don't like. It's a little like lazy, but it doesn't look bad. I'm like I said, I'm not really that mad. Now I will explain, there is something I really don't like, but I'll tell you that towards the end, or I'll explain right now in a bit. But yeah, so now let's get a test the art figure itself. Let me focus so you guys can see this. So when I got mine, his arm was popped off. I had to fix it. You do have to be warned, when it comes to any third party bootleg, the joints are looser or sometimes more tighter as a result, so keep that in mind. So he does have sort of that kind of like backwards butterfly joint effect. His arm does go up, but for my sake, I don't try to push it too much. Another thing I noticed is that some of the joints, again, third party guys, are weak and don't bend or don't turn. You don't want to do that because there's a chance you may break it. I'm definitely going to have to use hot water or a heat gun just to loosen it up. Remember to do that before you do it. I prefer, I think, hot water, or even you have a little bit of like something that, like a liquid that makes it loose. This one popped out completely. It didn't break. It's just the actual joint popped off, like the plastic part, and I need to glue that part. So that's why this is a little bit loose, and you can also see it's a little crack because it just popped. The plastic itself it popped. They use a different kind of material, a cheaper kind of material. So as a result, there's how much you can spread. His arms, he does have a bone joint. The paint is coming off. Actually, no, it's being scraped from his blaster, so you guys can see that now. See, you can see the color. It doesn't look that bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I know the mold of the other ones are a little bit more accurate and more nicer, but it's still pretty cool. Let me close this one now. You guys get a better look in a bit. The paint here is very lazy for me. It's not very nice, kind of shiny. I know I'm going to repaint it. Probably will, because I want to. I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't want to kind of ruin this, even if it's a knockoff. I like. But, so he does kick pretty high up. Sides. Side here. He does have a articulation here, but again, unless it's just one mold, I'm not sure. It's really tricky when it comes to these knockoffs. It could be just one plastic mold, like one piece. But there's a chance he does, but I don't know. I feel like it can, but I don't want to risk it either. I don't want to break it. He does bend. He's supposed to have like double joint to bend, but this one, it seems like it does, but again, I don't want to break it because it's a third party, guys. So keep that in mind. Again, it can easily be fixed with hot water and a heat gun. You have it. Just put a little bit of heat and let the joints start getting loose, and it should work. That's what I'm going to do. Same thing here. This side is also a little, stiff. Let me see if this side turns. See the joint, this part popped off. I don't know. I feel like this is an extra piece, but it is stiff, so maybe it's not. So just keep that in mind. And of course, this piece. So again, it's not broken. It's just it popped off completely. I'm gonna have to glue it. That's what you get with a knockoff. So now let's actually see a better of his chest plate. So you guys can, let me zoom in, if you guys can see that. This looks really cool. I don't mind. Now let's change its face. Now, so like I said earlier, this is one of my not so favorite parts of the design they did for this. It's a weird kind of shape mold. You guys can see it's not the same as the actual legit one. It is off. Yeah, it's weird shape here that pops in and out, and it doesn't really go all the way in. It's more like a rubber, not rubber, but like plastic mold, and it's easily just, it's so weird. So let's put it on. That's how it looks without it. I don't know why they have this. There's nothing to slide that sucker in. It's just, you can see that. So it's always that weird kind of gap area. Put the wrong one. Maybe this one fits a little bit better than that one. I don't know. Oh, I see. So it's more designed for the actual face. The face actually has it, not the mask itself. But I don't know. Yep, that's pretty much it. And that's what you're gonna get. Yeah, that's it. It's gonna have this weird gap here. You just want to see it now with the accessories and him posing. We'll do that now. Alright guys, so let's talk about the good and the bad and how much and where. So, I always like to start with the bad. So when it comes to bad is, it's something you already expect when you buy a knockoff. Sometimes knockoffs are really good and sometimes knockoffs are really bad. This is a mixture of like about 5 out of 10, like 5% bad. What I mean bad is the paint, some of the paint joints are not the greatest. And again, this is something you get with knockoffs, is that the joints are loose, and you do expect this one. Seems like you do, at least you get really once in a while you do get a good version of this figure. It's probably gonna come out with not bad joints, but usually that's like 20% out of 100%. So expect that with this, that the joints are popping off and they do pop, feet pop out, or they do break because they do use a different kind of plastic material. One that's less sturdy and yes, less, it takes less beating, so you twist and turn, it could break. Also expect that the joints are very tight, especially on this figure. Some of the joints are very tight. You're gonna have to definitely loosen them up before you start messing around with it. Again, the paint is not the greatest, but other than that, the scope on this figure and just the way it's displayed, the way they try to capture him, it looks really cool. Again, I think they actually did use the mold of the Ultimate Figure version of this, Ultimate Edition of the Guyver 1 Unit 1. So it looks really nice from far. Now we get close up, and you really get close up, you do see the little weird shapes, designs, and the paint's kind of like not the greatest, but other than that, it's still pretty nice to have them display. Because unless you really are hardcore, you really know your stuff, you probably like, hey, this is really cool, until you really look at it like, oh wait, this is a knockoff. Like for me, I think I would kind of, because I already had my hands on the actual legit one, and again, it was a friend, and so I was messing around with it, and yeah, you can tell the difference when it comes to the paint and just the material is a little bit different, but it's still pretty cool. I like it for the price. So let's talk about price range. So he goes for about, if you get him through AliExpress, you're going to pay under $25 to $29. But I do have to warn you right now, because the whole tear up thing, it could be not the cheapest to ship. It could be another $50 to $80 to ship this item. So if you do get it through AliExpress, I don't know if they updated their systems and they do add that part of the deal. Sometimes they use third party, so maybe they did, I don't know. But I got this through an eBay seller, and I think I paid about, this item was selling, said in the US for about $45 plus shipping was another $5, $5 or $8, I think, and I'm mistaken. Yeah, it's about $5 shipping. So altogether I paid $50, and that's pretty expensive for a knockoff. But I get it. When you buy stuff from in the States, they're more expensive compared to buying them from China, that are usually under like $20 less. They have to make their money back, or especially right now with the way tariffs up. So I really didn't complain. I even asked the guy, is this part of, do you have this item in stock and is it in the States, so I don't have to worry about tariffs? He's like, nope, you don't have to worry. Everything's over here. You'll get it like in less than a week or two, and it got here like in 2 weeks. The box was beat up a little. Yeah, for sure the box was beat up. But always double check with him and say, I do have to pay tear-ups. I will give you a link of his page. And when you are curious about getting this figure, down below, there's a link. And yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is really cool. You can get them $10, $20 cheaper. Definitely get them. Compared to the actual one, it now goes for about $200 or $300. I think pre-owned ones go for under $200. So yikes. This is still too cool to have. You're a Guyver fan and you want to collect something, but you can't. You know, you don't want to break your wallet, can't afford it, and that's understandable. I get it. Especially at the times we're living now, it's just getting harder and harder to collect. It's just hard. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is Limited PRG, and anyway, I hope you channel out. Put a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. Anyway, help the channel out, and adios. Start collecting. Bye.